Agribusiness, brought to you by Sure Crop, quality liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Jay, thanks for joining us this morning. We're coming out of one of the worst droughts in the Midwest that we've seen in a long time. A lot of corn was cut for silage, wheat was cut for wheat straw. Beans maybe got some rains late and maybe they're filling some pods, but we're coming into fourth quarter. How do you see the grain market shaking out ending the year?
Well, for the moment, I think that's a good term, shaking out. It is shaking out. The market is an anticipatory animal, as we teach here at IGP in our short courses, meaning it's always looking forward. It's always trying to guess what's going to happen. And if you go back up until this past week, the news was rather negative because of the drought and all the problems with the crops that you mentioned. So we kind of built in into price almost a worst case scenario. And now, of course, we're in the harvest. And though it's not a great harvest, it is not worse than what was anticipated. Maybe slightly better than what was anticipated. So prices are starting to shake out. They're starting to drop. We seem to have a situation where there were a lot of longs. A lot of people had bought, gotten excited about prices with the drought. And now with the harvest coming on, we're dropping off a bit.
Well, and while you're talking about the courses here at IGP, I think one of the courses you're teaching people how to buy grain that's going on today. How do you teach someone to buy grain that makes it a win-win situation for both sides? That the farmer or the producer gets the price he needs to continue to stay in business, but the end user, the consumer, gets a price that doesn't jack up their food cost.
Well, that's the big advantage, and that is what we try to teach here, is how people can manage their price. Not just outguess the market, but how they can follow the markets and make good purchasing decisions. And also some of the tools they can use to control price. So you're right, the farmer can still get the price he wants in the marketplace for his grain, and the buyers can also, by following the market properly, by using risk management tools, protect the price on their end, so that it is definitely a win-win on both ends.
Well, we get into a situation like we did this year. Is it a win-win situation, or is someone going to get the short end of the stick with just the sure small volume of grain that was produced this year?
Well, somebody is always going to take a hit. And we can say we have record high prices, which we've had, and on one hand that looks pretty attractive if you think about the farmer. You say farmers are getting very, very high prices, and that's true. You can also say those farmers who have half a crop are getting good prices on half a crop as opposed to a full crop, so they're taking a hit in that regard due to Mother Nature. Foreign buyers, customers, both domestic and foreign, are saying, well, prices are high for us, and that, of course, is not what they would most desire. So it's going to be a challenging year, even though we have high prices. It'll be a challenging year for farmers and for end consumers.
Well, are there other countries who were not in the situation we were in this year?
Well, the high prices, we live in a global market. So the high prices that were taken to these levels because of the U.S. drought and because of droughts in South America, in Argentina in particular, affected everybody. The European prices are high, Asian prices are high. It is a global market, so this is not, we're not an island. The prices only affect us. Other countries did have better crops. China had better crops. Europe had pretty good crops, but prices are still high.
Well, in the long run, forward buying, is this the opportunity for people to get in and start buying forward for next year also?
It's a good opportunity for people to start thinking, what do I want to do for next year? Or what do I want to do for the next 5 or 6 months, as opposed to just the next 30 or 60 days. And this is a difficult decision time for farmers to say, what do I do? Do I lock in this price, or do I wait and hope for something higher? For buyers who say the same thing, do I lock in this price, or do I wait for something lower? And I think we have almost an equal opportunity to do either. So it makes it tough to make that decision, that call. And that's why you have to do your homework and examine some of the risk management tools that you might employ.